Obviously doing the whole start, let me take 4 notches of power because we're on a, it's a bit steep coming out of Selhurst here, so you definitely want to do the whole start and give it enough power to get away without rolling back and embarrassing yourself. Also want to do a running brake test at 30 miles an hour, so hopefully I don't forget that. Notch 7 at 10 miles an hour. It's so slow. Like these diesel trains are so slow to get away. It's honestly painful. Alright, so we're now at 30 miles an hour, so I'm gonna shut off the power, perform a running brake test. Just using brake step 2, shaving off 10 miles an hour just to make sure that the brakes are functioning correctly. We've also got a double yellow signal, so I'm going to reduce the power because I'm the worst at remembering signal aspects. So yeah, reducing the power as soon as you pass a yellow signal is a pretty good way to just keep it committed to your memory. In fact, I'm going to shut the power off completely because that signal being a double yellow tells me that we're going to have a red signal before East Croydon. I think the signal protecting the platform at East Croydon is, well, it was displaying a red aspect at the time that we passed that signal, but it might change by the time we get to it. But obviously we can't see it, so we have to assume that it is going to be red. Give it brake step 2, bring it down to 20 miles an hour. Position 1 junction indication with a single yellow, so we're going through East Croydon platform 6. Single yellow tells us that the next signal, which is in about 500 yards, is displaying a red aspect, so we're going to be held just outside East Croydon until the train that is currently occupying the platform departs. Give it a bit of brake just to bring our speed down a bit more. I'm hoping that the signal clears before we get to it, which it has now done. But I'm going to stay at 10 miles an hour just to allow the train in front of us to get ahead a bit more. I don't know if that's the Reigate service or the Tottenham Corner service or the East Grinstead, I do not know. But yeah, hopefully it's... Actually, to be honest, I won't even mind if it's the Reigate service because it will make for a more interesting drive. But if it's the East Grinstead service or the Tottenham Corner service, I mean the Caterham service, if it's any of those, then it's going to turn off not too far from here. Got a red signal at the end of the platform, which has now changed to a single yellow, so I'm going to give it 4 notches of power. Gonna up the speed to about 20 miles an hour. Unless it clears to a double yellow before we pass it, which it's not gonna do, so yeah, 20 miles an hour. Shut the power back off and keep an eye out for the next signal. So I can now see the next signal, which is a yellow aspect of some sort. I can't see how many yellows it is, but it's definitely yellow. So I'm just gonna stay at 20 miles an hour until I can actually see how many yellows it is displaying, and then I can act accordingly. So I think it has now changed to 2 yellow, so again I can get a bit more power, excuse me, a bit more power in there. Speed limit is currently 50 miles an hour. You can obviously look at the top of the screen and observe the current speed limits, but I'm going way below that, just to make sure that we don't accidentally catch up on the train that's ahead of us. And again, just reducing the workload, work smarter, not harder. We've got a 20 limit coming up as well. Of all the routes in Train Sim world, this is the route that I know the best, so I don't need the track monitor or anything like that. So I know that we got a 20 limit coming up at the end of the platform here at South Croydon, so I'm gonna shut off the power from now. In a 377, if you're doing 35 miles an hour on entry into the platform, a brake step 1 application will have you down for the 20 limit bang on. But obviously waiting on 171, so I don't know if the 171 is better or worse at braking, so I'm just gonna make the brake application upon entering the platform, where we were doing 30 as opposed to 35, so give us a bit of room for error. And yeah, we were pretty much down for the 20 limit bang on, so I think the 171 brakes aren't as good as the 377s, I'm not too sure. Speed limit is about to increase to 60 miles an hour, just waiting for the full length of our train to be clear of the board, which it now is. So notch 7, full steam ahead, full diesel ahead. And we're getting absolutely wrecked by that 377 over there. Oh dear. Right, so the fun was short-lived because we got another double yellow signal here, so just shutting off the power. The signal protecting Purley Station is currently displaying a red aspect. So we got another signal at the end of the platform at Purley Oaks, and then the signal after that is the signal protecting Purley Station. So this is Purley Oaks Station that we're coming up on now. And yep, single yellow, so signal protecting Purley is still displaying a red. So brake step 1. And I can actually see the signal coming up in the distance down there, so I want to make sure we're doing 20 miles an hour when we pass over the AWS magnet associated with that signal. But it has now changed to a single yellow, so we're going to give it 4 notches of power. Well, to be honest, I shouldn't give it any power. I should have stayed at the speed I was currently at, and then given it time to change to a double yellow aspect, because then I'd be able to comfortably accelerate more. But because now I'm going to pass it and it's staying at a single yellow, I have to brake again for what I assume is going to be a red signal at the end of the platform at Purley. I know it's not making too much sense. Like, if you're new to the channel, you're not too clued up on train driving and stuff like that, what I'm saying, you're probably thinking, what the hell? It's complicated, yeah, but just obviously, you'll get the hang of it and you'll get into it. Me not being too articulate isn't really helpful either. But obviously, some of you guys that are regulars to the channel, and you guys that are probably TSW players yourself, like you know exactly what I'm on about. And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, why are you doing it this way? What's wrong with you? You should have braked earlier. You should not have applied any power. Da, 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 da. Everyone's different, man. Everyone's got their own techniques. So yeah, us keeping our speed down has now allowed the train in front of us to gain a bit of distance. So we now got a double yellow signal here at the start of the platform at Purley Station. But I'm now certain that this is the Reigate service that we're following, so that service is going to be stopping at Coulsdon South. Coulsdon South is about 2.5 miles from here, so it's not too far at all. So I'm not going to get my hopes up and give it too much power, so I'm just going to give it notch 4. Some of the extremely smart drivers I'm not one of them, but some extremely smart drivers probably have a formula that they can use. They can calculate the average speed of the train that they're following, like based off of the distance between each stop and the speed limit and all of that. Like they can probably calculate the average speed of the train ahead of them, and then they can do that speed as well. But I'm not smart enough to do all of that, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. So is that a single yellow? I believe so. Yep. So again, shutting off the power. Please change. Nope, it didn't change. So giving it brake, step 1, reducing the speed to 20 miles an hour for the AWS magnet for what I assume is a red signal. And again, that's due to the train stopping at Coulsdon South. So this next signal coming up is probably the signal that protects Coulsdon South. And yeah, I can just about see it in the distance. I don't know if you guys can, but that is definitely displaying a red aspect. So I'm just gonna stay at 20 miles an hour. If I'm in fact gonna stay at 20 miles an hour the whole time until we pass it, and see if that gives it a bit of time to change. It should definitely change from a red aspect, but I want it to change to a double yellow as well. I mean, we are kind of getting closer to it and it hasn't changed, so yeah, maybe not a double yellow, but we'll definitely get a single yellow before we get to it. So yeah, we got a single yellow now. I highly doubt it's gonna change to a double yellow by the time we pass it, I'll be honest. Because on this section of track, the signals are a bit spaced out as well, because it's a higher speed limit in it. But you never know. You never know. So yeah, for reference, you can see the train that passed us about a minute ago on the fast lines. You can see that the signal associated with that track, you can see how quickly that's changing. So it was red, and then oh, there we go, double yellow. So it was red, then single yellow, then double yellow. That's obviously representing the train getting further away in it. So we've got the same. We've got a train that's on our line that's ahead of us, but that train is traveling at a slower speed because it's making stops. So we got a double yellow, so I'm gonna give it, in fact I'm gonna do full steam ahead, because the next station, Merstham Station, so Coulsdon South is the next station, but we ain't passed through that yet. But the next station that train is gonna stop at is Merstham, and that's quite far away from here. That's about, I think that's about 4 miles maybe. So yeah, the train ahead of us will have time to gain a bit of speed and get further away from us, especially because we're in a 171 and that's a 377 that we're following. So yeah, we should be all right. I'm anticipating that we're gonna get a green aspect here, the signal after Coulsdon South Station. I'm almost certain that's gonna be a green aspect. Yep, told you. Get away from the edge. Speed limit is 75 miles an hour. I think it goes up to 90. It goes up to 90 in about 3/4 of a mile, and then it goes down to 80 about a mile and a half after that. So there's the commencement of the 90 limit that I was talking about. And we are starting to get closer to Merstham Station now, which is where that train is going to make its next stop. So you can see we got the double yellow signal here, so I'm just going to shut off the power. Should I start braking? Yeah, I'm going to start braking as I enter this tunnel because we are going to be going downhill. We got a downhill commencing as we enter the tunnel, so I just want to be safer than sorry. So in the event that this is a single yellow signal, it makes sure that we've got enough time to slow down for the red aspect. So yeah, we got a single yellow there. I know that the next signal is protecting Merstham Station, but I can't remember where it is, I'll be honest. So I'm gonna slow down to 30 miles an hour and just creep along until the signal comes into my line of sight. I think it's just before we pass over the M25. That's probably where the signal is, but I think by the time we get to it, it should definitely be at least a single yellow. TV will be turned off in 5 minutes, so you better not. No, we still got a red aspect. Okay, so brake step 2. And again, just making sure that we're below 20 miles an hour for the automatic warning system magnet. And yep, signal is cleared to a single yellow aspect. So again, some smart person out there will probably know the average speed that they should have been traveling up to avoid having to slow down like that, because you see we accelerated up to 70 and then we had to brake back down to 10 miles an hour. So if we maintain the speed, like, I don't know, let's just say 40, because 40 is basically between in the middle of 10 and 70. So if we done 40 miles an hour the entire way, then it would have been a more smooth ride for us with less of a workload. But you know, because I can't be bothered to think about all of that, so yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I had to do all of that slowing down stuff. Speed limit reduces to 80 like I mentioned before. and we did pass a single yellow signal, so I'm not going to apply too much power. I'm not going to gain too much speed. Signal at the start of the platform here at Merstham is now green. Okay, full steam ahead. And I think that's because it was a Reigate service that we're following, so that turns off at Red Hill. So I think that's now gone into the platform at Red Hill, and we're going through the through lines. So we're literally just going straight through now. So yeah, we're technically no longer following that train. Speed limit is 80 going down to 70, about 3/4 of a mile out from Red Hill, I think. $30 until Brighton. So I don't think we're going to get above 70 before the 70 limit commences, so we don't need to worry about that too tough. But we obviously just need to make sure that we don't go above 70. Just cutting back on the power there. There's the 70 limit there. If you were paying attention, you would have seen the 40 board that we just passed. That was associated for the turnout onto the other track. You can see there we got the 30 as well. The turnout speed limits will always have an arrow. There'll always be an arrow either on top of the speed board or below it sometimes. But yeah, that's how you differentiate between a turnout and a non-turnout speed limit. Also known as divergent speed limits. Right, so now we've got a green signal with a position 1 junction indication. I'm going to make a brake step 2 application because I can't actually remember what the speed limit is for this move. There's a chance it's 25 miles an hour, so if that is the case, I want to get some serious speed reduction going on. 30, okay. Oh, that's quite a significant overspeed there. But that's, to be honest, yeah, that's not enough notice. I think that's a bit of an error with the. I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but you can't. If I'm doing 70 miles an hour, yeah, you can't just have a signal with a junction indication that close to the junction. That I feel like I would have needed a bit more notice, or like some flashing yellow signals beforehand, like just to give me a bit more of a warning. If it was at 50 or 40 miles an hour, then fair enough. But 30, slowing down from 70 to 30 in that short of a distance is it's not really possible, I'll be honest. So yeah, there's no way the signal's like that in real life. Like, I'm pretty sure in reality that signal has got to be approach controlled or something, or have like flashing aspects leading up to it. But yeah, speed limit is now 90. We only have to do 30 for that move coming over onto the fast lanes. And yeah, it should probably be a straight shot down to Brighton. I'm trying to remember the timetable for the stopping service. So it leaves, when does it leave London? It leaves London at, it's 25 and 55. So if one left at 25, I don't know. Maybe we might catch up to the stopping service. I don't know if we're in front of it or not. Or maybe it got stopped so we could cross over onto the fast lanes in front of it. I'm not too sure. If it left Victoria at 17:25, where would it be now? How far is East Croydon out from Victoria? Or how long does that take, I should say? That takes like, what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes? If you're stopping at Clapham Junction, that's like 20 minutes, I think. So 25 at 20 is 45. And then, yeah, I think we're in front of it. I think we're in front of it. Right, we're getting closer to 90 miles an hour now, so I'm gonna shut off the power and allow the train to coast for a bit. I'm a bit infuriated because I was speaking, but I had my mic muted. I don't think it was muted for long, but yeah, that is quite irritating. I'll be honest. So yeah, now it's a bit it's a bit dry and boring now, unfortunately. Yeah, that I wish I had more to talk about, but I can't really think about anything, to be honest. But I suppose now would be a good time to thank all the supporters on my channel. It's been it's coming up to 3 years now since I started this channel, and over the past, I'd say year and a half, it has not been easy. I'll be honest, I've been slacking. I have definitely been slacking. I think since around this time 2 years ago, that's when everything kind of went downhill for me, in terms of content. That I just absolutely fell off, and I've just been trying to get back into it, but I just can't get the momentum. I can't get the momentum that I had back in 2023. In 2023, I was an absolute animal. Also, what I'm gonna do here is shut off the power because we do have an upcoming 80 mile an hour speed limit. So I'm just gonna shut off the power back here nice and early. The limit commences in about a mile and a bit. So shutting off the power nice and early, especially that we're going uphill, it should hopefully allow gravity to bring our speed down without us using the brakes. But yeah, it's just been hard. It's been hard for me, man. But I don't even want to say I'm trying to get back into it, because I feel like I say all this stuff all the time. But I am grateful for everyone that's stuck by me over. Some of you have been here since the beginning, and I've actually made decent progress, and that's why I don't really feel like. Actually, that's a lie. Sometimes I do feel like giving up on this channel, but I know it's got a lot of potential. Like, seeing the progress I've made in just a short amount of time, like, I feel like if I just push through it a bit more, like, I can scale it up quite significantly. So yeah, I'm just gonna try continue. And see what happens. And I definitely need to start live streaming. That's one thing that I really want to do. I keep saying this, but live streaming is the way forward when it comes to train sim. Like, not everyone has the attention span to just like sit and watch a video like this of me driving for an hour. Like, I think it's quite outdated, to be honest. So yeah, live streaming would probably be better for the channel. So yeah, I'm gonna try set up a schedule for that. It's just I can't really work a crazy amount of hours, so I think I'm gonna have to start out doing it once a week, and then gradually become more frequent from there. So speed limit went down to 80 shortly before we entered that tunnel. Is now going back up to 90. 16 miles until Brighton. Brighton is honestly not that far from London at all, you know. Like, it's actually really close. I need to get a new chair. I need to remember that I can't be rocking on this chair too much. Right, for a second I thought we had a yellow signal, but that is associated with the adjacent track. We've got bi-directional signalling along the Brighton main line between Balcombe Tunnel Junction and Preston Park. Passing over the Hughes Valley Viaduct. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, double yellow signal. Signal protecting Hayward's Heath is currently displaying a red aspect. So, immediate brake step 2 application. What could currently be at Hayward's Heath? I'm confused. It might be one of those peak time services. I think at this time of the day it's not some of the trains have a slightly different cooling pattern, so I think it's one of those. But yeah, single yellow signal that we just passed, so next signal is displaying a red aspect. just making sure that we're going slow enough on the approach. Can now see the signal coming up. Just hanging about in brake step 1 seems to be doing the job. Now down to 20 miles an hour, so I'm going to momentarily release the brakes until we get to the AWS magnet. Again, some people might continue to brake down to 10 miles an hour. Some people might go down to 5 at this point. I just prefer to go over the AWS magnet at 20 miles an hour and then make a brake step 1 application. And then from there, I'll go down to maybe 10 or 5 and then just creep up to the signal, hoping that it changes. Everyone's different. There we are, single yellow. And this train, the brakes on this train are very different. I need to remember that it's not a 377. So my little 20 mile an hour at the AWS magnet and brake step 1, I don't think that's the best thing to do in a train like this. Yeah, maybe 15. I think we might have to do 15 in a 171. So we're now cleared to the end of the platform at Haywood's Heath. Not going above 30 miles an hour, and I can just about make out the signal at the end of the platform displaying a yellow aspect. I can't tell how many yellows that is, but I think that's a single yellow, so I'm going to stay at 30 miles an hour. And yeah, but excuse me, I can now see that it's changed to a double yellow aspect, so I'm gonna hold off on accelerating for a bit just to give it the chance to change to a green aspect before we pass it. If it doesn't, then I'll still accelerate, but just not as hard. But if it does change to a green aspect before we pass it, then yeah, look at that. Come on, I told you, I'm a driver, man. I'm a driver. So yeah, now that it's changed to a green aspect, we can do full steam ahead because we know that the train, whatever train was it that was in front of us, is now a significant distance away now, so we don't need to worry about catching up to it. Double yellow signal, brake step 2. I think the train ahead of us is probably, I don't think it's going to stop at Wivelsfield. There's no Wivelsfield. There's no trains that stop at Wivelsfield on this, apart from the Eastbourne service. I think the Eastbourne service stops at Wivelsfield. I'm not too sure. So maybe it's the Eastbourne service that we're following. Yeah, I think it's an Eastbourne service. So good thing about that is that it's going to turn off just after Wivelsfield. So yeah, we don't need to worry about following it for much longer. down to 20 miles an hour, releasing the brakes. Can see the red signal in the distance, so yeah, we're just gonna once again creep towards it at a low speed and hope that it changes before we get to it, which I'm almost certain it will. So I've been I got distracted, but yeah, signal is now cleared to a single yellow. Nope, green. There we are. So yeah, I was a bit confused for a sec, but I think it's because the train needed a bit of time to get out of Wivelsfield and then turn off. So it probably cleared the platform at Wivelsfield, which gave me the single yellow to the end of the platform at Wivelsfield, and then the junction is just after Wivelsfield station. So once it turned off the junction, that's when I got the green to continue straight. Burgess Hill station that we're now passing through, one of my favourite stations on the line. I'm not sure why. It's quite a likeable station. Same with Hassocks and Burgess Hill. They're very likeable stations. I wouldn't mind living there as well. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what the towns are like in Burgess Hill and Hassocks, but I'm sure they're probably pretty nice. Hassocks station. Got a London Victoria service there, and I know that because it's 8 carriages long. The only 8 carriage Southern Class 377 you'd see at Hassocks is the Brighton to London Victoria service in Train Sim World, not in real life. So no one get on to me, please. I'm talking about in Train Sim World. Finally coming up on 90 now. Look how long that took. when did we go full steam ahead? Like just before passing through Wivelsfield, and we're only getting up to 90 now. I'm telling you, these diesel trains ain't ish. I'm joking. No, that's rude. They are. They are. They're very slow. They are very slow. I wonder if do they even plan on electrifying the Arkfield line? They're gonna obviously electrify it at some point, but I wonder if they probably not anytime soon, to be honest. But the way they've been moving with the 171s in real life, like chopping them down and everything, like it's given that they're trying to get rid of them. They've even got rid of some of them. Like they've sent some of them up to the Midlands. Like they don't. It's given they're gonna electrify the Arkfield line. But it would be interesting to see what traction they use for that. But yeah, Southern are making me laugh with what they're doing with their electro stars. Like you're giving some of your electro stars away, but then you're accepting other electro stars. It makes no sense. Like why not just hold on to the ones that you already have? Like you like what did they do? They gave some of their 377s to Southeastern, and then they accepted some 387s from Great Northern. And those 387s were initially Thameslink anyway. It doesn't make any sense. Oh dearie me. So yeah, those 387s are back home now. So we're coming up on Preston Park. Actually no, we're not coming up on Preston Park. We're coming up on Patcham Tunnel. So we got an upcoming 75 limit, which I nearly forgot about. So we want to make a brake application. So we had the warning board for that there, but that warning board is way too close to the commencement of the limit. So if you wait till you get to the warning board before braking, you're not going to slow down in time. So you want to brake. See, if I was paying attention, I could have given you the correct braking point, but it's too late now. And if I tried to explain where it is, you guys are going to be thinking, oh. So yeah, driven 72 miles, really? Okay. Oh, in this particular train, I've driven 72 miles. Why is it such a specific number, 72? What's 72 got to do with anything? So yeah, now we're coming up on Preston Park. I don't know if we're going to get held outside of Brighton or not. I doubt we will. It's platform 6, right? Yeah, nothing's in platform 6, so we're gonna be chilling going in there. All the trains coming out of Brighton, coming up here, coming from platforms 2 and 3. No, 3 and 4. So yeah, we shouldn't have anything crossing our path. Advance warning for upcoming 40 limit. Where do I normally get the brakes in for that? How much are we doing? 75. Let's start braking for it now. It's been a while. It has been a while, but we should be chilling if we start braking from now. Worst case scenario, just reduce the braking force to brake step 1. If we slow down a bit too early, I think we are. So yeah, just gonna ease off a bit. 40 limit commences just after this bridge here. Double yellow signal, which tells us that we are cleared into Brighton Station. We've obviously got the next signal is the signal that protects Brighton Station, so yeah. And here's the commencement of the 40 limit, and you can see we got a warning for an upcoming 25 limit, so I'm just going to leave the brakes in, slow down straight to 25. And I think once I get to Brighton, I'm going to take a short break before heading over to the East Coastway. I think now would be a good time to try out the route hop feature, but I don't think it's going to bring the train with us. So yeah, we're down to 25, platform 6, single yellow. Yeah, I don't think it's going to I don't think the train is gonna come with us if I route hop, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. But it's just annoying because I have to spawn the train back in and then couple them back up. Also, let's slow down to 15. Even though it's a 25 limit coming into Brighton Station, I always slow down to 15 because the turning radius on these points are absolutely deadly. If you go over them at more than 15, you're gonna end up having a spinal injury. So yeah, 15 miles an hour coming into Brighton. And then down to 10 miles an hour halfway along the platform. And then down to 5 miles an hour, about a carriage length away from the buffer stops. The buffer stops. The buffer stops. And then a final brake application to bring us to a stand as the buffers disappear beneath the windscreen. Brake step 3, neutral, driver reminder appliance set. Tail lights on, headlights off. Reverser off. Master key removed. Da -da 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 -da. Automatic warning system isolate. So yeah, what did I just say? Automatic warning system isolate, driver safety device isolate, and vigilance isolate. Come on, get together, man. And yeah, that's it. That is it. So I'm gonna test out this route hop feature now. Obviously check your tail lights, but yeah, I'm gonna test out this route hopping feature now. So I need to press X to hop. East Coast Way. Get started. Get started. Brighton Station. Get started. So it should carry me over to the East Coast Way, and the weather and all of that should be, the weather, the time and all of that should be the same as what it was when I left Brighton. But I don't think my train's gonna be the, yeah, my train's gone, unfortunately. So yeah, 1818. The only problem now is that platform 6 is on the East Coast Way. Platform 6 is in use, but the train's not due in until it's due out at 7:01. I'm not sure what time it's due in, so I'll wait for that train to, I'll have a break now, I'll stay loaded into the game, I'll wait for this train to depart, and then I'll spawn in the 171, and then we can take it over to Eastbourne. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys in a bit.